Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hold On to It On podcast. I'm your host, Erin, and today's episode is all about boundaries. So, it's November, which means the holidays are upon us. We've got Thanksgiving coming up, and then Christmas and New Year's. And boundaries are really important in life. In general, they're important to keep our relationships healthy and to be able to communicate with our friends and family, loved ones effectively what is acceptable to us and what is not is really important. And I think that's especially an important thing to focus on during the holidays, because sometimes you're seeing family members that you don't normally, and sometimes they may bring something up or they just might approach something in a way that makes you uncomfortable. So this was something I had on my agenda to make an episode about, but I thought it was especially important to put out before the holidays because it could help someone that is struggling with creating boundaries with family members. I feel like a lot of us who are listening to this already know what boundaries are. But in case you don't, boundaries are limits and expectations that people set for themselves to protect their well-being and respect the feelings of others. They can be physical, emotional, time-based, or space-based. Boundaries are important because they ensure respect for your identity and well-being. They help create clear guidelines for how you want to be treated. Boundaries can help prevent burnout, stress, and anxiety. And they can apply to friends, family, coworkers, loved ones. They help form the foundation of a healthy relationship by creating a common comfort level for activities and conversations. Some examples of boundaries are acknowledging the need for breaks and downtime between commitments. So, for example, if I was working 9 to 5 and there was a nighttime shift that was 5 to 9, and someone said, I can't come in, I need someone to cover my shift. Well, if this was your 6 9 to 5 shift in a row and you are saying to yourself mentally, I cannot do another shift, I have another 9 to 5 shift tomorrow, this is my only time to recoup, is the nighttime, I need that time for my well-being, then that is a boundary you're putting in place, and it is okay to say no. There will be someone else to take that shift. That is something that I have always struggled with, because if I am available, I am happy to take someone's shift. But if I would be overloading myself by taking this person's shift and I would end up having no free time for myself, that is not good for my mental health. Although I would be helping that person out, I am sure that there is someone else in the roster at work that can take the shift instead, and their mental health wouldn't be compromised as mine would be. And so it's okay to say no sometimes. Taking time for self-care. Doing activities that help you relax and rejuvenate. Prioritizing your own mental and physical health. Like I talked about before, taking time for yourself. Not only work-related, but let's go back to that 9 to 5 shift. If you just had a 9 to 5 shift at work and your friends are like, hey, let's go out at 6 and we'll go out for drinks if you want to come into the city. So that means after I just worked my 6th 9 to 5 shift in a row, I would have to go and get ready, motivate myself because I'm tired and I just wanted to go home and sleep or rest or do whatever was going to make me happy at home. And then I have to go into the city and socialize with people. And as important as socialization is, sometimes you're not up for it, and that's okay. It's okay to say no to work-related things. It's okay to say no to your friends, even if this is something that you would have agreed to on a separate day. just on this specific day, it is not the best thing that you can do. And it's something that internally it's telling you, no, I don't want to do this. It's okay. And if you feel comfortable enough with these people and you've expressed boundaries with them before, you can say, hey, I just got done working my 6th shift in a row. I'm extremely exhausted and I just want to take some time for myself. Can we do a rain check? If these are true friends, they're going to be like, oh, yes, of course, we completely understand, because everybody needs time to recharge and needs alone time and time to decompress. So that is something that is relatable to everybody, or at least I think it is. Letting go of unhealthy relationships. So if there is someone in your life that is holding you back, they are bringing out the worst in you. Specifically, a romantic relationship is where I think of this one. If it's just not meeting in the middle, it's just not working anymore, it is okay to let that go, because as difficult as it is to say goodbye to that person and heal without them in your life anymore, it will benefit you in the long run, because that is something that is weighing on you and your mental health, and cutting it out will bring you back to who you are, a healthier version of you, and it will be better for you in the long run. Standing up for yourself and others. So this one is probably one of the more difficult ones. I used to do it a lot in high school and I got bullied for it. So I completely understand being afraid to put yourself out there and stand up for things that mean something to you. So I guess let's put this in the least scariest way. Say one of your friends said something mean or hurtful. They weren't intentionally doing it, but they did. It is important, if this is someone that you want to keep in your life, to let them know that what they said was hurtful and you don't appreciate being spoken to like that. And if they want to continue having a relationship with you, they need to change the way that they're talking to you. They need to not say whatever they just said that upset you to the extreme level that it did. And if they are truly a friend and care about you, they should be apologizing and saying, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that would upset you. We won't talk about this again. I won't ever say that again. Something along those lines. And if they say, I don't care that I just said that, this is my opinion, and whatever your opinion is, that's your problem and it's not my problem, then that is not someone you want in your life. Okay, I found these examples of boundaries, not boundaries, on Instagram. This is from the Brain Coach. So she has an Instagram. She is a clinical neuropsychology PhD, and she studies neuroscience, psychology, productivity, wellness. She's in Vancouver. So the Brain Coach, that is her Instagram handle. So it is not a boundary to say I may have to leave early, but it is a boundary to say I can only stay for 1 hour. It is not a boundary to say thanks for the invite. I'm a bit busy that day, but I'll try to be there. It is a boundary to say thanks for the invite. I won't be able to make it this time. I'd love to catch up another time. It is not a boundary to say I am not feeling it, but fine. This is the last drink though. It is a boundary to say, no thanks, I've had enough to drink, you go for it. It is not a boundary to say, yeah, I know I gained a few pounds, you don't need to be concerned though. It is a boundary to say, I am not okay with you commenting on my weight, please stop. It is not a boundary to say, I've got a lot on my plate, but sure, I guess I'll do it if I have to. It is a boundary to say, I wish I could, but given my current workload, I won't be able to help you right now. And The last one, it is not a boundary to say, oh, interesting, I didn't notice that about her. And it is a boundary to say, I don't find it okay to gossip about my friend. So the ones that aren't boundaries are things that probably a lot of us say. It is in the realm of, this is not something I want to do or say, or I don't want to let someone down. So we twist the negative response we could say, like negative in quotes, the negative response we could say to someone, we twist it so that it's like, well, maybe, okay, if you want to. So we're kind of like leaning into what we want to say, but we're not completely saying it because we don't want to put our foot down. A boundary is putting your foot down in a polite way, not being like, screw you, this is not for me. It's politely saying, I can only stay for 1 hour. That's a fact. I'm not staying past an hour. I'm letting you know that right now. There it is. Thanks for the invite. I won't be able to make it. Just plain and simple. Thank you for thinking of me, but I can't make it. No thanks. I've had enough to drink. Go ahead. You do it. Again, just saying no. I'm not okay with you commenting on my weight. Please stop. That is the standing up for yourself and others one that we talked about. And if they're a real friend, they'll say, sorry. And if they laugh and make a joke about it and be like, that's not a big deal, then this might be someone you want to consider removing from your life, because if they're not respecting your boundary when you are telling them straight to their face, then that is not someone that respects you. I wish I could, but given my current workload, I won't be able to help you right now. That is plain and simple. I can't do it. And I don't find it okay to gossip about my friend. Something that you're not comfortable with, and you're setting the boundary right there. Boundaries allow you to maintain a sense of control over your physical, emotional, and mental space, ultimately fostering trust, safety, and respect within interactions with others. Essentially, they act as limits to safeguard your personal integrity and prevent resentment by clearly communicating your needs and expectations. So, one thing that's important about boundaries is if you have a boundary in your head, but you don't tell someone about it, then if they go and do the thing that in your head is not okay, they most likely don't know that it's not okay. And getting upset at them and screaming at them and be like, why did you just do this? This isn't okay. They might not understand that because you did not let them know. And some boundaries may seem like common sense and something that everybody should know and respect, but letting someone know straight up will give you the confidence to know that this person, in fact, does know that this is my boundary and I'm not expecting them to read my mind, because we can't expect others to read our minds. And that is something I learned in therapy, because when I used to get mad, I would say in my head, this person is doing something that's upsetting me, and they should already know that it's upsetting me. I shouldn't have to tell them. Why would I have to tell them? But they might not know why it's upsetting you, and they might even not know that you're upset. So letting them know, saying, it actually really hurt my feelings when you just did this. I know you may not have realized it, but it did. And then from there, moving forward, that person will know that it's something that is important to you, something that's a boundary to you, something that upsets you. They know now for next time. So if they go and do it again, that's when you can reiterate, hey, I let you know last time, maybe you forgot XYZ. So when someone is not respecting your boundary and you already said it, you already told them what it was, directly address the behavior, say something about the boundary and how it seems as though they're not respecting it. Be clear and concise. Avoid being vague. Be very specific about what about the behavior is unacceptable, what you expect instead. Focus on how their actions are affecting you personally rather than making accusations, saying like, you did this and that did this and this. Instead, focus on express how you are feeling and how it's affecting you, because the boundaries are set in place for you. You cannot tell someone how they're feeling or anything like that. It needs to be focused on you. Set consequences. So if they continue to cross your boundaries, calmly explain what actions you will take, like limiting contact or leaving a conversation. Be calm and assertive, even if you're frustrated. Maintain a calm demeanor and speak confidently. So you can say, hey, if you're going to make fun of so-and-so again, this is already something that I said I was uncomfortable with. And if you decide to do it again, I am going to leave the room, or I'm going to leave the text message, the phone call, whatever it is that this is happening in. I'm going to leave. And if they do it again, leave, because you already set your boundary, you already gave a warning, and that person knows that it was something that you asked them not to do. It was something that you were clear about, that you weren't comfortable with. And so doing what you said you would do if it happens again is to be expected. And so it's okay to do it. You were respectful enough to express why you were upset and what you were going to do if it happened again. And so you took the action necessary to help your well-being and your mental health. So that was kind of a focus on emotional boundaries, but there's also physical boundaries, such as I don't like to be hugged. Plain and simple, like, please don't hug me. This is something you can use at Thanksgiving and Christmas if there's a ton of relatives, and you're cautious about like getting sick around the holidays or something. Just say, I'm just keeping my distance because I'm a school teacher, and when I go back to school in a couple of days, I don't want to be sick, get the kids sick. I'm just trying to keep healthy. Or that's something people do with their babies too. Like if somebody just had a newborn baby, one of their boundaries might be, don't kiss my baby. So those are physical boundaries. And there are so many other types of boundaries, and you can Google it and learn so much about it. There's also a lot of stuff on Instagram. That's where I found a lot of the facts that I was spewing and the ideas and stuff. And don't be afraid to learn more about it, because it is something that is going to protect you. It's going to protect your mental health, and it's going to protect your relationships. Avoiding confrontation when there's a rift or there's something that's bothering you that someone else is doing, it is not going to help the relationship. Creating a boundary, putting something in place for yourself, but it's also for the other person too, because it's going to benefit both of you. And when someone comes to you with a boundary, you can either choose to respect it or you can remove yourself from their life. But if someone is creating a boundary with you, it's because they want you in their life and they want to have a healthy relationship with you. They want the relationship to be as productive and healthy as it can be. And they care about their mental health as much as they care about yours. And you care about your mental health as much as you care about your friends. So putting boundaries in place, so important. I hope this episode helped. I'm not an expert on boundaries, but I am sharing what I know, sharing what I've learned, and I hope that it can help you. And yeah, that's about it for this episode. Stay tuned in 2 weeks. I have an episode coming out with Johnny and Tyler, which I'm so excited for everyone to hear. And it is about relationships and moving on after breakups and the current dating scene, because that is something that will test your mental health. So stay tuned for that. 2 weeks from today, that'll be out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. Our website is holdontildawn.com and our email is holdontildawn@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at holdontildawn and on Facebook at Hold On Till Dawn Benefit Concert. See you next time.